One, two, testing the system. Do we have audio? 1, 2. Seems like we do. So let's get this rocking. Let's get this here. In fact, no. What's this? Nope. It's really gratifying coming back to use a piece of software and finding that everything is being moved, changed, upgrade, or just removed. Good. Hey there. Glad to hear you. Jump in. Welcome everybody. Another night of guitar, synthesizers, and train wreck, because that's what's gonna happen tonight, because we're gonna be testing so much stuff that it's not gonna be funny. First of all, this is too bright, right? Let me just try to find a sweet spot. Just a tad less. Yeah, you pay extra money for anti-glare glasses and you end up with circles in your face. So let me see if I can retweak this. Be a little less annoying. No, because that's not the one. The one. How can it be? Oh, this is really silly. I don't know. Sorry, Kent, because that's not it. And I don't think that's it. Yeah, that's the one. So, let's try this. Crazy. Okay. Could be worse, right? Yeah, tons of things are gonna be failing tonight. Some of them on purpose, some of them just because. You know tech. That's what tech does. That's what tech brings. And that's why we're here, because we love tech. First of all, sorry for the delay. Once again, fighting the technology as always. Still on a precarious, put together, dismantle every month situation, because studio is still a long way to be finished, and there's some chances on the horizon of a new location, which obviously is not ready. In fact, it's not even started to get ready. So it might take a while. So, cool. Seems like we have our first watcher tonight. I'm not gonna wait for him because you're gonna be able to wait for him. So yeah. Welcome back one more month to 6 Oscillators, where guitars and synthesizers collide. And just to shake things around and mix it up a little bit, I thought that it would be kind of fun. And in fact, this is a little too much on the nose. Sorry. Yeah, control freak here. Let me know if I need to be a little louder, or if this is enough. According to the meter, it's plenty enough. I should be blasting your speakers. So yeah, I thought it would be nice to leave the booth 55, take a rest for a minute, for a split second, and look about new toys. If any of you have ever bumped into my standard channel, my personal channel, Froze Music, or or has followed me at all in the past know that I had my eye put on a specific piece of guitar synth technology, kind of, because I say kind of because it was not designed and or really exclusively for that. It's meant to have many more applications than just guitar. And today we're gonna test at least one of those other applications. And I tried when at the time of the release I was one of the firsts in, and as I understood, one of the first batches of units that came through Undertones UK was one of the units I got from them. So as soon as they landed on the UK, one came, make all the turnaround through the country and came to my place. And I started vlogging, the whole experience. How do you get it in the box? How you unbox it? What's in the box? What's the controls? How you put it together? How does it work? But I have the bad luck of, according to Undertones, and I assume also Behringer, to get one of the few, if not possibly the only unit that came broken. Not broken as in it would not work, but you could call it miscalibrated or descalibrated because it wouldn't work properly. I'm not the best musicians in the world. I'm not a natural. I'm not a born musician. Therefore, I don't have perfect pitch in my hearing. So when I started testing it, I felt something weird, but I couldn't put my finger on it. Through that series of videos, week after week, I came to the conclusion that what was wrong with my unit was that the calibration of the conversion guitar to CV, not the MIDI one, guitar to CV, the voltage, was totally off kilt, because when you're playing a guitar, you go pressing, you know what, you go pressing frets, and that fret means a half step up if you go towards your body and the guitar body, or half step down if you go towards the neck, towards the headstock, where the tunings are. And but this unit would not move the CV in that specific proportion. Instead of moving half a step, which I understand is 50 cents. Sorry, no, it's 100 cents on a tuner. Because tuners usually measure from minus 50 to plus 50, as in a whole 100 cents distance in between half steps. So instead of moving, I think it's 100 cents per fret, it was just moving around 10, 20, 30, kind of a tenth of a half step per fret. So after playing a whole octave, I had barely moved a third from root to third, no more than that. So in fact, it sounded a little like, I don't know, microtonal instead of diatonic. I put it to the test. I managed to get all the signals, the straight guitar signal to show on camera. This is the tuning of the guitar, this is the tuning of the MIDI, and this is the tuning of the CV, to show that it was totally off kilt. Because of that, I have to stop that blog series, and I decided to, because it's a brand new unit and because it's the first batch, I thought I would be doing my part by letting the distributor, in this case Undertones UK, know, hello, this is happening with these units. keep an eye on it, and please can I have mine calibrated, because that's all it is. Basically, it's telling the unit that no, instead of moving tens of cents, you need to move 50 cents per half step, or 100 cents per half step. You need to move faster through the pitches. Sorry. I have no issues making the return in guarantee. Obviously, they treated me as good as a customer can ever be treated by a company who really takes care of their customers. Because, as I said, I will never have anything ill to say about Andertons and their behavior, which was stellar. But they kept me waiting and waiting and waiting with very few updates. And usually, we don't really know what it is. We need to send it to a different tech to check it. And it needs to be checked before we can decide to do something about it. Weeks go by, months go by, and at one point I say, okay, I'm very sorry. I'm going to need to either have a repair unit or a new unit. I think that was the deal. But to my surprise, they came back with, we can't not fix your unit. We don't know when are we gonna get the next batch. So just to stop your wait, we rather just refund you. And I said, well, at that time, it surprised me a tiny little bit of shock. It's like weird, because I don't think the problem was that bad to be unfixable. But well, I need, particularly at this money after this month, for circumstances, I need the money back. So yeah, I think I'll take the refund, and later on, when the situation gets solved, as in Behringer takes care of this problem and stops it from happening, if in truth it's happening to more people than me, if it's a common thing, and if it's not, then even a bigger reason to buy a new unit later on. Just let me check something, because something is not really happening here. Come on. Okay, yeah, everything's good. So yeah, I took my money, and like the saying says, I just ran with it. I took my money away and I put it towards all the gear I needed at the time. And months went by, life got in the way, and I basically could not get back to get that disposable income to buy a new unit. And that has changed. I finally got to it, and I finally got my Behringer perfect pitch PP-1 second attempt, which is this red thingy right there, this little baby. What is the PP-1? For those who don't know what it is basically how to put it? Technically, although I think this particular technology does it through a digital process, is taking the voltage of a guitar and or microphone, sorry, not and, so it's just or, guitar or microphone, line input or microphone input. I don't think you can feed two things for something I'm going to say in a minute. I don't think you can feed two sources at the same time, mostly because the unit is monophonic. It can only translate, let's call it translation, from guitar language to synth language, one note at a time. Probably two, if I'm not mistaken. No, I believe it's only one. It's one note at a time. So having two sources would basically make the system freak out, which is kind of you might want, because it freaks in a very, very fun way. So in the context that we're talking here in this show, in this podcast, it would allow you to plug a guitar, an electric guitar. You need a pickup. Or if you have a microphone, which is also ready too, this combo jack here can take either 1/4-inch TS or XLR. If you have a microphone, you could feed your guitar through that microphone. But you still need to be aware that it's only going to be able to detect properly and play back synth on a synth way, one note at a time. It is monophonic. So it's kind of the technology is obviously derived from the envelope followers of the synthesizers of old. Like, for instance, although you can see here right by my side, I have the rest of my EuroRack setup, which is also waiting for 2 or 3 more modules to be finished. Not like the accessory case, which is missing a ton of modules. That's a completely different. Let's not get into filling up all the gaps business. What I have here is my Behringer ARP 2600, which has an envelope follower, like the original had. Basically, it would read the voltage coming in, and it would take that voltage as an envelope generator to apply to and or modulate whatever parameter can be modulated through voltage, through DC voltage, as in a single value of voltage changing over time. So PP-1, kind of funny name, but hey, perfect pitch, PP-1 does that, although I believe it doesn't on a digital way for 2 reasons. Because digital is more accurate and faster nowadays in 2025. And second, because one of the secondary functions it offers is to translate that voltage signal, analog, not only to a voltage control signal, still analog, to control other modular voltage control synthesizers, but also into MIDI that could be output through the 5-pin DIN or the USB. I can't remember exactly, so don't quote me on this, but I believe, pitch just to be converted. I believe it can feed both at the same time. I'll be happy to test it when we start getting into the case, if it's possible, and see, because the main goal of this of tonight is going through the motions, as in sharing again the experience. Oh, you just bought a PP-1. What can you expect? How would you use it? How would it behave? With the caveat that this time I didn't pre-check it, same as I did on my previous vlogs. I just took it out of the box, put it in the rack, feed some power, and let's live the experience together. So anything could happen tonight. One of the things I want to test it with, because I've seen many other YouTubers testing this module, with microphones for vocals or drums or acoustic instruments. It works fine. With electric instruments like guitars, secondary synthesizers to get analog out of digital, for instance. But there's something I have not seen yet, and is something I want to test, is how well does it behave with bass? Because even the GR systems had a tradition of having a rough time, a very tough time, following those ultra low nodes on a useful way. So let's see if PP-1 can handle it, and let's get mean and like this this person I had contact with likes to say, Dr. Manny Fernandez. Every time I get a synthesizer, my first instinct is to first try to break it. So I'm gonna try to break it to the point of how far can it go? Because what I'm gonna try tonight is not only a bass, which is already pushing, since according to the blurb and according to the promotional material that Behringer released in the day, it was focused on guitar, just guitar. As in, they never mentioned that you could use it with bass, and if they did, it escaped me totally. Hey, good night, James. Do you think it's just gonna be slower to follow with bass? Let's find out. That's why we're here. We're just gonna plug it and see how it blows, and if it tracks at all. Because, for instance, I had mixed experience with 55 on tracking low notes, even in bass mode. So let's see if this one can do any better. But as I said, not only on bass, which is already an octave lower than guitar, I'm gonna try with my 5-string multiscale, which at the moment is set up to go all the way down to F#0. So we're gonna be testing the limits, the real limit. One is it gonna say enough of the PP-1 when you go low. When you go high, I expect it would go at least all the way to C6 or C7, which is way more than most people will ever need playing synthesizers. We can try, if I can think a way to put it here on camera, we can try to test the accuracy going through the octaves, if it's going to start drifting, if it's going to go out of tune, or how is it going to be performed. And James comes back saying that it takes half a wavelength to track anything. Yes, exactly, it does. My point is that modern systems that uses possibly the same chip, the same detection chip inside, like for instance Boss GT100 firmware 2.0, it can do no issues all the way to B1, I think. Yeah, to B1, because it was optimized to register to capture out of the quarter range without divided pickup all the way to a 7-string guitar. It was a bummer that because the GT100 was a unit focused on guitars, that they didn't extend that range all the way to bass, or even extended range bass, which is B0. Because I will use the heck out of that thing, since the tracking, at least all the way down to B1, was almost spotless, extremely fast, and extremely expressive, as in it would follow any nuance you would apply to the strings, it would follow, and everything out of a quarter-inch connection, no divided pickup necessary. So since that, I think it was 2017 technology, PP-1, I believe it was released in 2024, possibly announced in 2023, released in 2024, if I'm not mistaken. So I assume that at least they're using the same or a later generation of the detection chip. So let's see how it blows. Okay. So before getting to that, let's start, because obviously what I'm gonna be triggering, well, I think I could do most of on this box, since I have a full synth voice. Okay, let's see. Oh yeah, I have the voice, but I don't have the audio. So let me see if I can get the audio. My problem is I'm still putting together my modular, so I'm very short on cables. Not only quantity but also length of cables. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to reach. What's my longest? So yeah, first I'm gonna basically create a basic patch, just something that makes a noise. And for that, I'm gonna take. This should do it. Okay, so. Technically, this is my output, and it doesn't reach my input. Let me see. Yes, I need cables. I need more cables and longer cables. Let's see, can I go? How far can I go? This could get horribly wrong any minute now. Is going to be able to. Okay. Seriously. Okay. Then let's go back to my original plan, which is triggering the 26 with the PP-1. Oh wait, it might not even reach neither. Oh god. See, that's when you don't plan. Boys and girls, when you don't plan these things properly, you get these problems. Because technically, this is the connection you need. But I need to get to my. Oh god, this is frustrating. It doesn't even reach my multis. I can't believe you. So how am I going to do this? Okay. Here goes nothing. If I die, please tell my mom I love her. Because what I'm gonna need to do is to bring things closer together. There it goes. And again. I'll be right back. Ooh. silly. Und I managed. So yeah, sorry, well, it's still in camera, still in shot, kind of. But now it should reach what I need to reach. Okay, one down. So that's my CV to modify my VCO. Let's get gate. So I can trigger my envelopes. And before we start with that, let's make sure that we have a working patch. So mm-hmm. 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 Okay, so okay, let me read. What are you commenting? Yes, synthetic. I always deliver what when I promise a clusterfuck. You know I do. Make it so. Yes, you will be able to. Do you? Well, the thing is, when I started doing module, I said, okay, I have to do everything in front of me. So 40 centimeters. I think that's the ones I have. No, I think that the 30s. That should be plenty, from corner to corner to the main suitcase. But then I got what I call the auxiliary, the effects, the extra case, and then I realized, depending where I situate this stuff like tonight, yeah, I'm gonna need things like a whole meter and a half, and I just haven't got around to get the money together and decide, because God, they're expensive. For just a little piece of coaxial cable with 2 TS connectors. I don't build them myself because I basically don't have the time working the whole week. But wow, it's wow. I mean, for the price of one patch cable, EuroRack, I can buy a whole guitar cable, almost. As in, 12, a 7-meter long guitar lead, quarter-inch TSTS. It's I understand it's because it's a very small market, small quantities, they need to make a living, totally understand, but man, God, they're expensive. So, can you confirm that you can hear this? And how loud can you hear it? Yes, in my side is really low. I think I'm gonna crank the gain. Give me a second. Good, okay. Still, I need a little more, so, ooh, here we go. Okay, I'm gonna watch it now. Better? So. Now we need to plug the guitar. 1/4 inch to the combi jack. Sorry, if my voice goes too quiet, let me know. I hope you can hear me when I turn around. Cool. And let's get the guitar. Let's get a little more of me, since we can barely see the box, the PP-1 anyway. Okay. And first of all, I'm gonna get the tuner out of the system. And I want to have a straight. The second jack by the side, if you can see it. I'm gonna lose the chat for a minute and just gonna try to maximize to check that you can see what I'm doing. So as I said, you have this combi jack here for the instrument, XLR or 1/4 inch line input you want to use, but also has another, see if I can move this around. Exactly, that this 1/4 inch output is kind of a through, a signal through. So whatever you put on the combi will get out, probably not even amplified to a secondary system, like I'm gonna do tonight. I'm gonna put it straight into the channel to at least check that the guitar is sending stuff in and which stuff is going in to check against what stuff is coming out. So let's start getting it signal out. So let me check. I'm gonna do tons of checks tonight. EQ flat. We don't want to break subwoofers or hearing. Oh, something's happening. Okay, let me see if I can put the signal, the audio signal through. Need to get out to this screen to check that sound is coming. If everything's working. Synth flatulence, yay. You should be able to hear both the synth triggering and the guitar's straight tone. Let's get this sound happening to get comfy, which is not easy tonight, trust me. With everything in process of being moved somewhere else. Cool. So let's get from the VCA. Let's get remove the guitar. Now that we've checked that works. Cool. We got envelope triggering, that's good. Let's take the resonance out. Okay, we're not start with a good beginning. So let's check. Oh God, really, tonight's really uncomfortable. I'm trying to cram all of this in a very small, almost dangerous space. So the controls on the PP-1, in fact, will I have? No, not here. Let me check this. Here and here. Oh, that's what I forgot. Okay, it should be a little better. Do I have anything useful? Okay, this might work. Let's do this now. I'm trying to show you what are we dealing with. Share screen. Yes. Window. Let's say we add this here. And yeah, this could do. Oh, this could. So basically, interesting. I assume you can see a pointer on it. It's not a win for tuning. No, not yet. We might be able to tweak a little bit to be able to make it work a little better, but I'm keeping my hopes down. So just going through the connections and controls very quickly, from top to bottom, from right to left. You got the USB-C, which technically not only can output the instrument converted to MIDI to any USB system. I think it's class compliant. I believe so. But I think it also is a 5-pin DIN host. So if you plug into the 5-pin DIN, wait. Yes, but I was wrong. It does so, but only one way. Basically, if you feed MIDI through the USB, it will output it like a through the 5-pin DIN, not the other way around. So it does not 5-pin to USB. But the USB is bidirectional, goes in and goes out. As I said, because you still could send through the USB from your computer MIDI sequencing and send the 5-pin DIN to any other module you have in your system. In my case, for instance, the BARP, I could connect the Cubase to the PP-1 through the USB, and the 5-pin DIN to the BARP 2600 to trigger sounds in the BARP straight from 5-pin MIDI. So next thing you do have is basically tell the system what type of signal is it dealing with. Is it gonna be microphone or guitar? That's why the high set switch, which in my case is turn off. So although this is an active bass, let's try if the performance improves on the high C. I don't hear a change, so let's leave it off. Your next control is a low cut, which I don't think I want to use now because I'm using a bass, but if you were using a vocal or a guitar even, or a violin or any other instrument that doesn't rely on the rumble frequencies for its personality, you could improve the tracking by removing those frequencies and letting the system concentrate on the higher range of the audio spectrum. So I think, let me check my knees off, which is good. And the last option is the bend. I need to pull out of memory. I believe the bend is, I think it's for the MIDI side of the unit. Basically, although now it's not doing it very well, which could be out of tweaking, if you play a note and you bend the string, I've tried it all the times, and it would follow that on CV, would follow that bending as a volt per octave variation, volt per octave modulation. Problem is, when it comes to MIDI, some systems are not that smart. So if you trigger a note, means it's a specific note number, and then you stretch the string, means you're bending the string. The system is not capable MIDI-wise, digitally-wise, to follow that movement, so it needs pitch bend information on top of note information. And I think that is the switch that allows you to convert the bending of the strings, in the case of string instruments, or even in the vocals, into either voltage follow-up or pitch bend information as in the MIDI data. Because every time I try to switch it CV, when it's just using CV, the difference was really, really minimal, almost non-perceivable. And mine is off, and although in this picture you can't actually see it, let me see if I can zoom the picture. Yeah, it's a little confusing because it's basically, sorry, it's silver paint on a red fascia. But the options on this toggle switch is off, 1 or 2. Basically, it has a limit pitch information it can deduce out of a string band of 2 semitones, a whole step. So by limiting the range of the pitch band information, like you would do on the old MIDI synthesizers, it allows it to be more defined, more precise, and a little less steppy. So if you know for sure you're never going to be reaching anything beyond half step, you better put that toggle switch in the middle position for 1. So everything you bend on the string will translate into MIDI messages for pitch bend wheel of only half a step, 50 cents or 100 cents to the next half step. So now is when we start actually trying to tweak and improve the performance by getting to the control of gain and the gate sensitivity, as in how loud is the gate going to be. I assume they put the second control. The first one is obvious. It never knows how strong the signal is going to be. So even more if you plug a microphone or a cheap microphone. So I'm just catching with a... Oh, James, you made a question about portamento. Let me double check, but I don't think it has control over that. Nope. That's not something you can do here. Although I should have a portamento module in the case. Not that I know how to use it, but I think I have it. The other question was lockout even the higher note length. You think that the lockout might help even with a bass guitar to even the length of the different range of notes? Let's put it to the test. I don't know. I don't expect so, but I don't know. We'll test it. Let's, for the minute, focus on these two, which are mostly the only controls you really care about, which is the gain, as in if you need to boost the signal so the system can hear better your input, and the gate loudness, in a way of speaking, so you can tell your system, as in, I don't know, I think some systems use 3-volt gates. I think some systems use 5-volt gates. I think that's what you're controlling there, the actual voltage offset of the gate you're sending out. So the gain should be down all the way, which it is. Means that he can barely hear any pitch coming in. So let's crank it. And there was something funky going on with this 4 LED VU meters, the levels, because I think I need to double check the manual. Basically, it has like 2 behaviors at the same time. One is the actual signal input, and the other one is something else I can't remember right now. Sorry. You've tried many synth-based options, like for instance, any GRs or anything that we I could be aware of. In the meantime, I'm gonna just be raising the gain up to see if we can get a better tracking. Yeah, I'm 3/4 of the range up. I'm not even playing, and this is already triggering too much. Way to make it. Let me double check with the direct. Yep, he's not really following. Okay. Yeah, that reminds me. I just raised the gate value a little more, and it got a little more stable to the point that it's not triggering. I mean, at the moment the oscillator is not tuned, which is something I'm gonna do right meow. If I can remember how to do it. So if I give it let's give it an A. So let's get an A. An A2. Doesn't want to stay where it should. It's jumping around. Yep, it's something the same problem I had the first time. Put the digital cow out of his misery. In a minute. Oh, even better. Just cam here and make me. So, Shock. Sevastopol module on my pedalboard. Okay, that DSI more for since try future impact and C4, etc. Okay. Those are all pieces I'm not aware of. Never heard of them. Pitch tracking never works. Use pedals for wave shaping with EuroRack filtering. As I said, the next test would be to use the 5-pin MIDI, and if it's anything like the first one I bought, it does very well on through the MIDI. I don't know why the CB is the one that fails. So now I just want to get. So yeah, I need to keep the gate down, otherwise it doesn't even trigger. And that's the weirdest part. When I play together, sounds like it's moving the same way, but if I remove the guitar, not so much. You know what? I should have this here. Let me try and open it. Okay. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Oh, okay. I thought I had it here, so I'll just have to get it. Just 1 second. I'm fetching. First of all, why are you not? Choose. Yeah, I'm fetching for the manual to check how does Behringer suggest to do this. The setup, basically. I'm getting there. Okay. Yes, whatever. Come on. Here. Documentation. Yeah, the right one. That's the one. All right, so. In fact, let's download this. Won't be long. There. 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 Save. Done. Shut it. shut it back to here, and now bollocks, sorry, not this, this is the one. So yeah, this is the manual, and let's see what it says about how to set it up. Tons of languages. Here, let me check that is properly fit, and you can see it the same way I can by doing this. Yep, you can see it right. Which works very well in many of my experiments. Yep. I think, yeah, but just be aware that I'm also triggering guitar notes, because this, sorry, let me show you. And let's shut the PP-1 for a second. That's a guitar note. All this range, although duller, but are notes within the guitar range, same as this. That's where the guitar stops. A standard guitar, 6-string, E tuning 440. That's where it stops. So everything I have, all this range is basically guitar range, which is designed and refined to do. And still feels like it's not moving pitch. So, what's the right way to set this up here? Yeah, let's read quickly. USB socket can be used both the output USB MIDI derived from the audio input, and for firmware updates it will also accept MIDI input and convert to CV gate output. So I was wrong. It's not gonna send to the MIDI out. Oh, weird. USB MIDI. Okay, so no, it doesn't. It's not a USB host, but it's a USB to CV converter. Obviously monophonic. MIDI out socket outputs MIDI messages derived from the audio input. High switch uses this switch in the on position when it's in a high impedance input such as a guitar or bass. Passive for bass we're talking here. I'm using an active, which is still high C, but is a lower impedance. Low cut switch is the switch to cut frequencies below 70 Hz on the input signal. If I use that and cut frequencies below 75, I'm basically using 3 strings of the bass, because this F#0 goes all the way to 22 Hz. Bend switch. The bend switch has 3 positions, which affect to the perfect pitch. PP-1 tracks the input signal of the CV and MIDI outputs will always quantize to the nearest semitone. Which could be what is happening now. I don't think so. The CV output will allow a pitch bend of up to 1 semitone, and the MIDI output will send MIDI pitch bend messages as well as note on/off. If the note is bent through more than 1 semitone, then a new MIDI note on message based on the new note will be sent. So it's going to re-triggered. As with 2 semitones, so we get it right. Let's try half a step. And what do we get now? No, that's not the solution. Then, let's get to the controls. Gain. Use this knob to adjust the input gain for optimal tracking in conjunction with the level meter 7. Level meter. Use this meter with the gain control to obtain the optimal level of the input signal. When using bend modes 1 or 2, the meter acts as a tuner. When all LEDs are unlit, then the input is in tune. The red LED at the top of the meter lights if the signal is distorted from too high a gain level. When all the LEDs are unlit, then the input is in tune. In tune with what? Okay, no, that's not making any change. Okay, let me see what's going on over here. Yeah, I forgot to turn on my second monitor today, so I need to be jumping the gun. So but that's a trick I'm not really I'm a little too stubborn for that. I still want to test the system and the capabilities, because they're meant to work, and it's pointless if you want to play a B0. Why do you need to pay a B1 and then add tons of latency through processing? It's senseless to me. It doesn't really compute. So back to the instructions, you heard what I read. So yeah, that's the double function of the LEDs. It's not only the input signal, but also when the quantization is kind of turned on, the pitch bend is turned on, acts as a tuner to tell you if your note is flat or sharp, I guess, or in tune. But it's weird because 0 LEDs turned on means it's in tune, and then you have only 3 LEDs, 2 greens and 1 yellow, because red still tells you that it's clipping. So kind of not really thought after. But the second, the gate control. Use this control to obtain a suitable gate output from the input signal. So basically apply to taste. Line out, that's the CV line, CV out. Now the input for further, but it's required. So so I got an 1/8 inch line out. Oh, if I want a line signal, basically something that makes a hotter signal out of the guitar, I guess. Let's try that. Because if I feed that to the barb and open that side, what do I get? Let's take the the direct out. Huh. Yep. So cool. Then line out, CV out, gate out, outputs 1 volt per octave, on the other niche, can be used to control suitable modules such as we see a gate out, outputs a V trigger gate at +5, trigger an EuroRack module such as envelope generators, use the gate control or the best results. Audio input, yep, that's where we plug the guitar or microphone. Drive through, output and process audio signal at the same level and impedance as the input signal. So yeah, that's a hardwired mechanical. Hints and tip: pitch perfect is a monophonic tracker, so playing chords will give you uneven results. I know, if you give it more than 2 notes. Without the guitar. It's not as bad. I'm playing 3 notes here. Kind of fun, but it loses it basically. I'm gonna put a little bit of line in the mix, not all of it. A little bit more, so it's behind the synth. I'm just trying to make that. Oh, lovely. Okay. Play cleanly and precisely. I try. Consider compressing your instrument to ensure consistency of level. Okay. Set the gain control carefully. Too little and track could be impaired. Too much and your signal might distort. The level meter with pen switch off will help. Let's do that. I'm basically finishing the yeah. In passive mode doesn't even register. I'm basically running out of now. I'm starting to clip. But the pitch is not really reacting. It could be impaired. If you want to use effects on your instrument and then after tracking using the drive-through output, take care in setting the gate control so that unwanted artifacts such as finger movement or noise on the microphone do not result in unwanted gates being produced. Yeah, the useful range is really finicky because I'm hovering in the first 1/6 of the treble. Okay, what are you saying? You people there. Sounds like an avant-garde tune. Yes, I wish. A lot of people use an octave down. Yeah. No latency and great tracking in modern pitch shifters. Yep, that's true. Latency has got a lot better for sure. As I said, what I'm playing right now, when it comes to the attack, at least the gate is almost as fast as I can play. I don't know what's happening with the pitch. I mean, it could be something I'm doing wrong with the barb, because I'm no expert. I just don't see what. I don't understand what could be the problem. Yeah, once again, sounds to me, you tell me out there how does it sound, but I'm trying to play, I don't know what, let me show you what I'm trying to play. Okay. So, once again, let's start first with a high range. So, this is what I'm moving, and this is what the synth is giving me. I need to measure. No, this is gonna be the guitar. I need to measure the CV. Because here, if I play G, wait, E, no, a D, this tuner is detecting an A sharp 2. So if this is, well, in fact, I'm gonna do both. So I always start, when this start happening, I start second guessing myself. So I'd rather be digitally accurate of what I'm doing. So I'm adding my tuner on the pipe, on the through signal, which is basically straight from the guitar, to check what notes I'm playing, and to see. So that's a D3. So I want to tune this oscillator to D3. Which in this barb is way harder than it feels. It's a little sharp, but I don't think I'm gonna get it any better. Now at least I have the same note, straight and synthed, more or less. Cool. So now when I move, it's not moving. Okay. Okay, I bet it's much better with guitar. Let's try it. I don't think it's gonna be any better, but let's try it anyway. Let me catch one of my guitars. And before that, so now we move into passive guitar. So now I'm gonna switch on the high C. Interesting. It's very likely to be out of tune because it's been there. It's been hanging for weeks. And it would help if I plug it in. So let me give me a chance to tune the guitar. uh, James, there's nothing to be excused. I totally understand. I'm also very skeptic with all this technology, but I had favorable experiences before, and as I said, if I would be to connect the PP-1 through MIDI, through digital, when I did that in my previous unit, I didn't have a single issue. It's just the CV part of it that seems to be a little iffy. Well, more or less. So that's the guitar. Cool. let's see what does it do with the synth. Once again, half volume direct, half synth. Yep, as expected. So once again, let's go even one octave higher than the bass could. So we go for the E4, I think. I got a bit of proof. In order to tune the synth, what I was doing before, I have the secondary output of the VCO going into my intelligent stereoscope in tuner mode. And as you see, let me try to tune again. I'm gonna tune the VCO to this note. So that should be E. In fact, the other tuner. The guitar tune is saying that that's E5. So let's try to put the VCO to E5. Okay. So now the synth and the guitar are tuned to the same range. Remember that the VCO here, no, here. Okay, get out because I can see. So this patch cable here is connecting the secondary output, in fact the triangle wave of the VCO, to the stereoscope to tune. And it's telling me that each half step I move is moving just a few cents. As in, this is E, F, G, A. This is A5. It's reading. It's reading F5. See, but this F is reading E5. F sharp. G is reading F5 sharp. So E, F, G. Oh wait, no, it's totally off because this is not F5, this is A5. And it's reading F5. So it's basically the same thing I had with the first unit, is moving cents as an 20, 30 cents of or a tenth of a cent per half step. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a fifth from E. It's B. Yeah, this is a B5. And it's reading F5 sharp. So yeah, this is another failure with this unit on the CB front. The octave range of the oscillator. Let me see. Let me try this. Now they're closer, I can try to do this. So I'm gonna get this voice. I'm gonna feed it. Okay, that's interesting. So now what I'm using is Create Audio chips, which is I think it's, I thought it was 2 voices, but I don't know why it's not shutting the note. So I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna try to tune this to the guitar range. Okay, that's the ARP. Because it's coming through the VCA. Yes. And this is the line. Now I'm just trying to tune to E5. Oh, but it's not working. Working. To the filter. CV. Okay. Okay, why is this not working? It's not giving me a reading on the oscilloscope. Possibly because I'm having to send it through a mult first, a passive mult. That makes no sense. Here the tracking is fine. Okay, that's good. Okay, voice 2 back to voice 1 because the second one doesn't have a I don't think it has a gate on the filter. Well, we got a decent performance here. Let me see if I can tweak this. Should be reading, but it's not. I don't know why. Sorry. I'm trying to get a reading of the note that the VCO is outputting, and I don't seem to be able because the straight cable is not long enough. Share my frustration. And I don't know exactly why. Straight into the VCO, it does read, but anywhere else in the chain, it doesn't. Now this is an input. This should be an output, and it's not. Okay, I need to move from this one. But for instance, that I'm gonna prove in a second. Let's have a break. Now I'm gonna go back to the base with the other VCO to see if fails again or not. Oof, almost. Space, the final frontier. So, round 2. Chips VCO with bass guitar. What am I? Cable. Finally. I'm so scared to pull a cable and shatter everything. Weird. It has retuned to the new pitch. Guitar range tracks fine. Bass range tracks fine. Let's check the extended. Let's change for a more energetic wave. I think I put it back in sine wave. All the way to triangle. Just for comparison, a little bit of direct. Is it too loud out there? Yes, you are. Okay. Let's catch a break and please welcome my partner in crime and dear friend, Mr. Synthetic. Howdy, matey. Having sound issues as well? Join the club. Okay, I cannot hear you, but it could be my fault. Let me check. No, I'm good here. I think everything's open. Everything is checking. 1, 2. Okay. Hello?
Again, is that better?
Yes, now I can hear you.
My voice.
So you're coming this way. Let me get you out of there. Oh wait, no, I have to send you.
Sorry, StreamYard auto switch. Sorry, StreamYard input. So.
Okay. Talk to me for a second.
Test 1, 2. Yeah,
guys, let me know if you can hear Synthetic.
No loop back because I would normally hear myself on here. So.
And you're not hearing yourself right now?
No, which is good.
Okay, please. According to StreamYard, you're going out to the watchers. Could you?
Let me go check real quick here.
James, I'm gonna take your word. Wanna come in right now today?
Okay. All right. So we're good. I'm not hearing myself on the thing. Wait, hold on. Oh wait. Yeah, I guess I'm okay. Yeah. Anyway,
Cool.
Sorry for the delay. I was around doing errands and stuff, but so far so good.
Okay.
So you don't want to do the pitch shifter trick because if it helps the latency, why not? Right? Just add a little pitch shifter pedal to your rig, and You
Uh-huh.
shouldn't add much latency to it, and then you get rid of all the bass issues, right?
Good. But as I said, I don't know if you've checked the last 2 minutes. I changed the VCO and now it works flawless.
Oh.
So far the fault is not the PP-1, the fault is the barb. I don't know what I did wrong in the barb, because
Well, there's a lot of stuff to set on
I
that
don't
thing.
think you can.
So you're talking about the 2600?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Not
stuff
so
to tweak
much,
on
and
that.
you can see. You think? I mean, as pitch-wise, why would it not track pitch correctly?
It could just be a setting you have, or are you patched at all, or are you doing normalized?
No. The 26 at the moment is normalized.
Yeah, so there's very little
I'm not
stuff except right in the area of the VCO settings. So
that's what I mean. It's like sync is off, audio is keyboard, which is audio range. I was using the FM modulation of the VCO2, which is the one that goes in the fader. Everything else is off. The tuning is pretty high. It was following the guitar tune quite fine, but it would not move in pitch. That's what I don't get.
But that's a known issue in MIDI too, right? I mean, the bass the bass notes are too sluggish to track properly, or something like that, right? Because the frequencies are so low.
No, but as I said, it's not the tracking. Okay, listen to this.
Not on this thing. I'm talking about in general. In theory, in general, in regular practice, people bitch forever about MIDI bass. So
except for DSP, and even DSP has a hard time because not as extreme as in the GR units, with not extreme as divided pickups, but even DSPs kind of need to make a distinction between subsonic rumble and actual musical notes. So the minute you start going a little too down, it might go a little iffy. And if it has to track pitch accurately and fast, it could give you missed triggers. But
you know me, I'm not
by
a good
now, by
player,
2025,
I got the GR1 to work very well with the guitar, but I don't have a bass, so I can't test that. So
yeah, but that's exactly what I'm doing these tests to see to find the limits of the tech, and I'm gonna let you hear another time, another little bit. So basically, I don't know if you can see the red beat.
Yeah.
What I'm pointing. So that's a PP-1. But
I know.
instead of going
watched
to
your
the
videos
bar
before when you're having all the issues with it. So
good. So, but now what I'm doing is here I have a Chips by Great Audio.
Yeah.
You know Chips?
No, but they have a bunch of different stuff. Yeah.
So I put it in. Chips is basically two VCOs, two voices.
It's a full voice
with limited control.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's voice 1, voice 2, and an LFO.
Okay.
It's pretty self-contained. It's the one that you get with the Nifty case.
Right. Okay. I thought that was Captain Vigo.
Yeah, but before that, before they had that generation, the standard Nifty case default was these two I have. One is
I see. Okay.
cells and chips. That's the two modules where you could
hexagonal thing. Yeah.
That's the one that's the sequencer I have by its size, and then I have chips, which is the voice. It's a kind of 2 voice and a half, or 2 voice and a modulation. So I'm using that LFO, and apart from the fact that I don't know why it's not shutting off, but I get these results. So it's not shutting the VCO completely, but if I go on the standard guitar range.
Is there a threshold setting or any kind of adjustment for that?
Tune, filter, and waveform. That's all the voice gets.
Right? While the thing is there, have you tried messing with the knobs to see if it goes away?
The tune is tune, and the filter is. Oh wait, it could be the threshold for triggering.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
but it's still going through.
How about
I'm gonna put it
re-triggering?
halfway. I'm gonna put it halfway, which is still filtering. But let's see if it opens. No, not much.
You might have to add something silly like a noise gate, so no sound goes to that module.
So if I take the bass out, okay, I don't know why it's not.
Or have an envelope trigger it. So it ramps off.
Yeah, technically the filter is basically is an AR, it's an attack release inbuilt, so it triggers, opens and closes.
Does it have any real VCA controls? Or not really?
That voice, no, it doesn't.
Because you can make it
all inbuilt.
gate a little better with a VCA.
Yeah, I know, but not this one. Wait, unless. Yeah, let's see if I can put it in the VCA. But now I need to trigger. I need to mold my trigger.
You might want to turn that signal down a little bit. It's a little hot.
Okay, let me.
It's hotter than your voices.
The trigger to trigger. Because I'm also fighting. I'm also fighting short cables.
Okay,
it's not opening. So that's the filter. That's the attack release. This is very short.
Do they have recommended configurations, extra stuff in the manual for the PP-1, or is it just about the module only?
I don't think so. Let me triple check. We just
to be
went
helpful.
through
They
the
should
whole
have given you
manual.
a couple like helpful configs to expand your setup, or if you have issues.
Yeah, but nothing that.
It's Behringer. What do you expect?
Cable.
Right? You get what you pay for. So.
Yeah, tons of languages, but basically because it's such a simple module, they just tell you, typical Behringer, which buttons and connections do you get and what do they do, but not how to set them.
Yeah.
Although they give you consider compressing your instrument to ensure consistency of level, which is duh, but if I compress it, it's gonna blast the input of this thing, which is already setting the gain very, very high.
Yeah.
Set the gain control carefully. Too little on track, it could be impaired. Too much on your signal might be distorted. Use effects. Apart from that, as in very silly guidelines, nothing else.
Yeah.
Let me, for instance, if I go back here, I mean, I can show you very quickly. Come on. Move. It's not moving. Oh, it's here. So, here. See, it's not much in it.
Yeah.
It's basically that. It's that page. That's all you get, basically.
Oh, they have a bend setting. Look at that.
Yeah, I was explaining that's basically it's for the quantization for the MIDI outputs, the USB and the 5-pin. So if it's gonna be a CV kind of follow up, or is it gonna be actual MIDI pitch bend, and it gives you two different ranges to choose from, which will quantize to those pitches. Position 1 is half a step, position 2 is a full step. That's all the pitch bend you can get.
So Ramsey hasn't used
Beyond
his in a
that,
while. Maybe that's telling us something that it's not as fun as it could be. Because he had it from day one, and he said it was working, but I never see
who,
him use it. Ramsey.
who? Yeah, but that's exactly why, because he doesn't. We never see him using in anger. He hasn't. I've never seen him jamming with it or making an actual
Yeah.
track with it.
He said
But
he used it on something, but it was
as I'm
nothing
trying to show
obvious.
you,
And yeah,
come
he
again.
didn't use it much, but he did use it. He said it has worked for him. And he used it
He
one or two
tried it.
times.
He plugged it and tried it, which is
Yeah.
exactly what we're doing here today. But I don't remember him. But if I can get this to work, because now I'm doubling. So I don't know if it's. I don't even know if it's actually triggering. Okay, now we have, at least we have silence in between notes, because I'm using the BARP VCA to filter everything. So
Okay.
it's
There you
tracking fine
Yeah.
now. So, I don't know if it's getting in the camera.
What bass is that?
I just bought it. It's a very once again, I'm trying to fit everything in half the space I used to fit everything. So it's Gear for Music. Is their own in-house brand.
Oh, really? I didn't know they had their own brand.
Yeah,
Oh, look at
multi-scale, 5-string. I had it set up. I set it up to go down all the way to F-sharp 0.
Wow.
So all the way to 22 hertz. So if I just show you the bass.
So 5 strings, your main thing. You don't like the 4. You don't like the 4 string. You prefer the 5.
The 4 strings is too little. In fact, the only 4 strings I'm using at the moment, I have it tuned down to B0. So
Come on,
basically,
man. The 4 string is your 49 key synth.
No, exactly the same way I don't have 49s. 63 is the smallest I buy.
Some of them, that's all they make, so
Yeah, that's why I don't buy those.
Well, I mean, but there's some good ones.
That's
my point. Yeah, that is.
No, yeah, I'm just joking. No, it's because the music I'm trying to play requires that range. As in, this is normal bass. This is 5-string bass, which is already an extension and is only used for very specific styles. That's 5-string bass. Okay. This is metal drop tune, so you go a fifth even lower.
Oh, okay. I thought the 5-string was to give you some higher notes so you could be more in the guitar range.
No, it's to go lower and lower and lower.
Okay. Right.
So to the point that this is F sharp 0.
Isn't that what Peter Hook did? Peter Hook played more like between guitar and bass range.
Who's Peter Hook?
New Order, Joy Division.
No. Okay. I don't know. It's
a very distinct sound. Official, it's not your normal bass.
My official answer is I don't know. What I've learned, as in Blue Monday, because he was having to play with synths already, taking the whole rumble range of low notes, all these notes were already taken and lower by the synths. He decided to start playing one octave higher. Basically, he was playing guitar range on a bass guitar. He was playing these notes. It still sounds like a bass because it's very dull. It's not meant to be bright, right? But these are the same notes you find on a guitar. And that was the only gap in the frequency palette that was kind of open for him to do stuff. Also, he he equalized the bass guitar very bright. Very similar. Have you ever heard of a band called Korn?
Oh yeah. Freak on a Leash.
K.O. Freak on a Leash, Come Undone, Twisted Transistor. It's one of the icons and fathers of nu metal. Well, because they started from the get-go having two guitar players playing 7-string guitars, drop tune, I think from B, I think they were dropped to C, C or D in some songs, as in 2 steps lower. The bass player find himself that he had basically no sonic range back in the 2000s. So he decided instead of trying to be an octave lower, that very low C, which is basically this note. So this is a standard 4-string. This is a standard 7-string guitar. There were tuning here, right? So instead of trying to get an octave lower than this, he decided to get the EQ of the bass, almost no bass range, tones of middle, tones of brightness, and he spends the whole song basically doing this. Basically, he had to switch all his sonic palette from low rumble to clanky metal, because that's the only gap in between the 7-string guitars and the vocals that was left for him. And they made a whole sound and a whole style out of that. Sounds good.
Although I can't believe those guys are lumped in with Limp Bizkit and nu metal, because I can't stand Limp Bizkit.
What? Yeah, but I'm learning. If you listen to interviews with Fred Durst lately, as in the last 10 years,
those
or
Corey
5
Feldman
years,
shit that he's doing.
yeah. Basically, it's all on purpose. It was all very well planned from the beginning, because Fred Durst never wanted to be a rock star. Yeah. He put together a band so he could get in the right circles to start doing video clips for music. He wanted to direct.
Yeah, but he's not a good filmmaker either.
Yeah, but that's a completely different business. So the whole
I know that's what he's doing now.
Gimmick.
And it's like, you would think if he worked that hard to get to that point, he would be a better director.
No, but that's what I mean. He didn't work hard at all. They just put the minimum effort possible, and they exploded in their faces because they were friends with Korn and other bands of the moment. They got kind of put in the same bag and dragged along, and suddenly they found themselves that, well, wait, this was just a stepping stone to get to what I wanted to do, and suddenly this has become 10 times more successful that I'm ever going to be as a director. So fuck it, let's stick with this. But from the beginning, it was kind of a mistake.
The thing is so silly. I know there's some trolling going on there, and there's some other stuff going on. But Corey Feldman really thinks he's a good musician.
I think I want to believe that he thinks he's a good entertainer.
No, he thinks he's good.
I don't think
have you seen those guitar solos where he shreds and it's just the worst shit you've ever heard? And he gets all bent out of shape when you only bring up his movie stuff.
I've seen it,
about his music.
and I've seen it live. And what I've seen is the guy knows that he's doing that solo to troll everybody. That particular solo.
At first I
thought the point
that
there's a second guy.
He's way too committed. He really is. He drinks his own Kool-Aid, so to speak.
He's extremely committed. But in that particular shitty solo, if you look at his fingers, they don't match what he's moving and what you're hearing. Not only because he's in the wrong part of the neck.
Solo he's done recently that is him playing. Sounds just as fucking bad.
There's another song where he
does
a
recent thing he did. He's
a very bad solo.
Recently. Yeah, it's awful.
Yeah, there's one. Once again, he's not a good solo player. I'm not saying that at all.
Not good at anything. He's not a good singer. The whole Beatles ripoff thing he did recently was so awful.
Yeah,
You
but
hear the
I think he
character
went
song?
the Beatles' way
Go listen to
because
characters. It's
Michael went
hilarious.
the Beatles' way.
Well, of course,
The
he's
biggest
ripped off Michael. I know. Yeah.
no, he's trying to take where he left it when Michael died, because apparently they were very good friends.
They were, but then he's constantly saying, "Why do you keep comparing me to Michael?" When clearly he's imitating Michael in almost every possible way.
Exactly, that's why. Yeah, it's
so
tons of
silly.
levels of delusion and
Yeah.
making a living out of making a fool of himself. And I'm not
And
totally
he's
sure
released
he's
the
not
same
aware
album
of
like
that.
3 times, supposed remaster.
Yeah.
Dan Dawkins got involved. What the fuck's wrong with that guy?
Who?
Or Don Dawkins? Is it Don Dawkins? Dan Dawkins? I forgot. I
Really?
think it's Don Dawkins, right? Yeah, he helped him
Yeah,
master
no,
that
from
fucking
the band
box set.
Dokken.
Yeah.
Okay, amazing.
Oh, yeah, it's just he's
But
a
that's it.
total sellout.
Sure. Once again, yeah, I think, and that's why I
But
think
what about
he
the
is
legacy?
totally
What
aware.
about being proud of something? I mean, is Dawkins not proud of his other stuff? Now he's got to be ridiculed for all this stupid Corey Feldman stuff.
Yeah, but everybody knows that Dokken can play and write. The fact that he's doing comedy now, I don't expect anybody thinking less of Dokken at all. He's just having fun.
It's.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Even Slash in Glastonbury sucked a lot. Slash.
Well, Slash is not the best guitar player ever. Sorry, I mean, I'm no expert.
Well,
but
if you
there's so many people
if you
better
ask
than him.
half of the globe, they will say you're full of shit. Because half of the universe thinks that Slash is the best guitar player in history.
His Sweet Child of Mine was just a warm-up exercise that everyone went crazy for. He even admitted it's a warm-up exercise.
It's a little bit more than that. I think he talks himself down to try to sound.
Well, I mean, that's okay.
humble.
Everyone's self-deprecating to a point, but I haven't heard anything he's done compared to other guitar players that I'm aware of that blew me away. It's just he's good, but I don't think he's amazing.
Yeah, the thing with Slash is not Steve Vai. He's more like a Joe Perry.
Yeah, Joe Perry's good, but
he writes for the song. And
like I said, Guns N' Roses, when they came around again, a guy at work a long time ago got tickets and wanted to go and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And Buckethead was playing instead of Slash, and Buckethead was amazing, right? I thought way more impressive than Slash stuff I've heard. So I don't know.
He is way more impressive than Slash ever was, but I still don't like Buckethead.
Well, I don't say I like the guy, but he definitely has the chops.
He has more skill. The thing is, he has more skill than Slash has today. Because Slash, I don't know why, because to my knowledge, he has never stopped touring. He has like 2 or 3 projects that are not Guns N' Roses.
Was he an Audio
He had
Slave?
Velvet Underground.
Was he part of Audio Slave?
Excuse me?
Audio Slave.
No.
Was he part of that?
Audio Slave was Tom Morello.
He was in some other kind of supergroup thing. I forgot what it was called. I thought.
Well, he did one with bollocks, I'm gonna blank now. With Miles Kennedy from Miles Kennedy, where is he from? Alter Bridge. Miles Kennedy singing from Alter Bridge. Basically, but in that tour he was basically playing half Guns N' Roses, half not Velvet Underground, Velvet Revolver, which is the other band.
That was it. Was he in that? He was in that one, right? Okay.
Velvet Revolver, yes.
With
and
the guy
in that tour with
Pilots, right?
Possibly, I'm not sure. I don't know.
The singer for Stone.
And
what's his name? He died.
And in that gig, Miles Kennedy was basically trying to replicate Axl Rose.
Okay.
Have you heard Axl Rose lately?
Have you seen him lately? The whole package is a mess. He's had this giant bandana on when I saw him to cover up all of his hair loss. And he's like fat.
And the puffiness of all the drinking. And let's not even talk about the vocal. I mean, he was very, very, very
well, how long can you
close to
maintain
failure.
that screechy vocal thing? It's going to destroy your voice, right?
Forever. You can maintain it forever if you
can if you
do
it right. But does he do it right? It doesn't sound like he's doing
He never
it right.
did. Yeah. He never did it right. Okay, so he was already struggling
David
like a
Dreaming guy knows
maniac
how to screech without destroying his vocal cords.
Who?
David Draymond
Who?
can use the vocal folds for screaming and not destroy his vocal cords.
And it still is been cleaning his technique in the past 3 albums because he has a problem with his stomach. He has very, very bad acid reflux.
But I watched a
his
bunch
cords.
of those vocal experts react
Coaches.
or whatever thing.
Yeah.
And they react to his and a bunch of other famous singing videos. And they were talking about the screechy, raspy technique that a lot of people use. And comparing the correct ones and the straining ones. And you can hear the difference,
Yeah. And the hardest technique of them all is going from one to the other.
And by the way, Corey Feldman's doing it wrong because he's like, ah! It's like some kind of like he's gargling and screaming at the same time. He's terrible. Zero technique.
If you don't care about pitch and you don't care about your throat, you can do it wrong 2 or 3 times a week for a whole tour. Yeah. But after that tour, you basically need to shut up for months. Otherwise, you're going to become voiceless.
Get polyps on your vocal cords and
all the sorts, all of the above. So Miles Kennedy singing Axl Rose songs, basically the only problem, the only thing you can fault him for is that he was flawless on the technique and on the pitch. So better Axl Rose than Axl Rose ever was.
I've never heard of Miles Kennedy. Is he from somewhere else or he just came out of nowhere?
Alter Bridge, and he is with Mark Tremonti, another band I can't remember the name right now. And remember the film Rockstar?
Yeah.
Not the guy that does the whole film, but the guy that jumps in when I think it's Mark Goldberg. Is that the actor that did Rockstar?
Oh, no, it's Wahlberg. Yeah.
When that one finally walks out of the heavy metal famous band, the guy he puts in his place behind him, who sings better. Once again, it's all fantasy because Wahlberg never sung a single note in the whole film. No, it's all dubbed and substituted and pitch corrected.
Terribly as Marky Mark.
He did rap, yes. That's right. So the story of the film is that he jumps in to substitute the original singer, starts touring with the band until he gets fed up of the whole ethos of the rock stardom, the hair metal era, and decides to walk away.
Right? What was it really based on? I forgot the story.
Everything and nothing at the same time. It's based on real happenings of many bands. Okay. You got Metallica there, you got Skid Row there, you got the other ones, Motley Crue there, you got all of the hair metal bands have anecdotes in that film.
Judas Priest opened that Guns N' Roses thing I went to. He opened the show in his leather pants. And oh my God.
That's another one that is almost on the way out. Vocal
was he ever
wise.
in though?
So,
was he ever really in?
Yes. He was one of the.
Really?
He was better than Axl Rose when Axl Rose was on the top. Skid Row was a better singing technique than Axl ever had.
Really?
So, as I said, in the film is Wahlberg chips in when they decide to fire the original singer of Steel Dragon.
Yeah.
And he gets fed up, and in the same way he chipped in, as in a gig, the thing himself got a guy out of the audience to on stage, gave him a microphone, and started singing together. And the guy chipping in, the new guy, sings better than the one that is the official one
on stage. And
because that happens, he says, "Okay, great. Now I have a replacement. I don't have to get the band on my case if I leave. So now I can leave." And that's what he does. Right in the middle of the gig, leaves the venue and goes and becomes goes and tries to form Pearl Jam. Basically, they go grunge.
Is that worth watching? That movie? Would you say?
It's entertaining if you like heavy metal. If not, you might have a laugh because everything's over the top, way
I
over
like
the
it to a
top.
point. I mean, I actually sat through part of that stupid Motley Crue movie.
Okay.
They depict their whole up and coming rise in L.A. and stuff. You ever see that movie? I don't remember what it's called.
You mean the documentaries?
It's an actual movie. It's a drama
Okay.
based on their lives. I don't know how much of it is true, but they have people playing the guys, And I can only sit through so much of that. It was like, really, this is their story?
Technically, yeah. Once again, what I've heard about Motley Crue is that everything you've heard of Motley Crue, double it.
Yeah.
They were the original rock stars that did all the bad things that the rest of the bands tried to cash in and be judged by the same measurement.
And I never understood
the ones
their
who
output.
did it.
Their output was pretty bad, in my opinion.
But once again, they were technically high as a kite for years and end. They were never down, basically.
Sure, but I mean, even the drummer is like, okay, fine, he can go in a rig and turn upside down while he's playing. Who gives a rat's ass? Can he really play? And he's okay, I guess, but
he can. They could. Well, I think the bass player was some sort of Sid Vicious case.
Oh, Nicky
he
Six,
could barely play.
He was always high.
Barely play just to.
Yeah. He was always high all the time. That's what I heard.
No, but once again, the whole band.
No, but Nicky Six especially, like he was a mess.
Yeah. I think it was all about the drummer and the bass player.
And Mick Mars,
and the other ones,
his guitars,
yeah. No, as I said, the documentaries I watch is like the only times they were sober is when they were sleeping.
The only thing I'm jealous of is Vince Neil's laundry list because he's been with some of those amazing women. Holy shit.
Yeah.
And some of that stuff was actually out. There were like sex tapes released and stuff. But Pam Anderson and all kinds of famous people that were like just stunning, right? So
yeah, but as I said, it's Motley Crue. They created the myth. They were the ones that created the myth, and because it only lasted a decade. And it's already a miracle they survived.
Might say it's
the
too
80s.
Long. It's already
exactly. It's a miracle. I mean,
like when I heard "Shout at the Devil," I just had to laugh. I mean, come on, are you kidding me? And that whole opening, "Shout at the Devil," that whole opening bit, and I don't know, it's just kind of a joke.
But it was the times. At the time, it was not a joke because there was too much money invested. But it got, because of the Escalade, it became silly because there's only so much you can. There's only so much harder you can become than the previous band.
Yeah.
Beyond a certain point, you're not being any harder if you stick to the style. Because the style is not hard at all. Because in fact, I mean, you tell me, you
like
you
glam
live through
metal,
it,
right? Is it? Would you call it glam?
No,
metal?
that is the glam metal because what everybody understands as glam is the glam rock. We're talking the Ziggy Stardust era.
Yeah, right.
That's the glam rock, but basically British made. They were the glam metal.
Wore the makeup,
had
the crazy hair.
Exactly. It's known as hair metal because the hair was way more important than the music.
But the hair metal guys didn't all wear makeup. Those guys actually wore makeup.
No, we're talking about the same people in the same time. It's the same bands. It's just two labels.
No, I know, but I mean,
thing.
Certain ones went a little further, right? Some just had crazy hair, and some did the whole like
all of them.
You had to makeup thing.
Even Bon Jovi had the crazy hair. You had to have the crazy hair,
the makeup stuff,
and the eyeliner, and the.
Really? Oh, okay, I don't remember all that.
Yeah, you had to. Otherwise,
like Poison was really obvious. They just had the
you.
Crazy makeup on.
Who?
Poison.
Who? Oh yeah, but once again, they were just trying to up glam the previous band. They were trying to be more glam than Motley Crue. And you know what was the peak of that Escalade? Believe it or not?
No.
Wasp.
Oh, I don't know them. I know the name, but I don't know any songs of theirs.
Wow. Okay. Think about Motley
I barely know
Crue.
Striper, you know. So
Yeah, but wow. Striper is a completely different story because they took the whole dark power of heavy metal of the 80s, but they're trying to talk about the Lord.
But were they really
our
religious,
Savior.
or was that all a ruse?
Yeah. Up to today, is classified as Christian metal.
Wow.
Striper was the first one. Yeah. So, Wasp, which at one point that led the people think, because they spell it with capitals, W.A.S.P.
Yeah.
They let everybody believe that it was standing for "We are sexual perverts."
Oh, I thought it was the white Anglo-Saxon Protestant. So,
Nope. So think about Motley Crue on shatter leather-looking spandex with pyro behind your balls and table saw blades on your arms and blood.
It's almost
Basically,
like Gwar with less monsters.
the step before War, GWAR, was Wasp. That was the step. And was the next step up above Kiss. Because they took everything that Kiss did and ramped it up a notch.
Kiss is funny, too, because people at one time were calling it an acronym, Knights in Service of Satan. You ever hear that one before?
No, but I believe it.
I mean, they'll deny it. And Gene Simmons is, just a marketing guy mostly. He's not really much of a musician, but he...
No, I mean, don't get me wrong. He's good enough for rock and roll.
Yeah.
He's not bad.
I guess. Yeah. Not singing, though.
I've seen worse.
Making
a career.
I mean, Paul Stanley's no great singer either, but it's...
Same. I mean, they're good enough for what they do.
I don't get the fandom of those guys at all. A couple of their songs are okay, but I was never like people
because it's not about the music.
It's no, but some people it is. I know people who love the music.
Nah.
No, sir, I swear up and down, these people love this fucking music.
They convince themselves it's the music, but what hooks you on Kiss is the spectacle, is the show.
What happened when they went without the makeup, pyro. Though? Did they lose popularity?
Tons. They almost disappeared.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Is that like when Metallica cut their hair? Same thing?
No, Metallica cut their hair because they went into rehab.
No, I know that, but I mean, did that image kind of tarnish them for a while? Because people expect the big hair and the angry faces and all that stuff.
They went through an adaptation, but the problem is the good thing is they did it at the right time. They did it when everybody else did it.
Yeah.
Metallica cut their hair at the same time that Bon Jovi cut their hair. Well, Megadeth never cut his hair. That's something to praise from that guy. But
yeah,
it was the grunge era. Long hair was wasn't cool anymore.
Right.
So they rode that pony into rehab, and they came the other end, Saint Anger, basically.
Yeah, I didn't like the Saint Anger stuff. So
I love the album Saint Anger. Yeah,
Which is
the
one that's mixed poorly though? Is it the Saint Anger one? Which is the famously mixed poorly one?
Death Magnetic.
Oh, okay.
Death Magnetic, the next one.
Like a sausage. The waveform is like a sausage.
Worse. It was so bad that the official fan clubs in America wrote the band, please remix this shit.
Oh, really?
Or we're not going to buy it. Yeah, because they made a mistake. Kind of.
Oh, it wasn't on purpose?
It was on purpose, but the mistake they did is that before the final mastering, they release a rough cut for the video game Guitar Hero.
Mm.
And the mistake was that the rough cut in Guitar Hero sounded 10 times better than the one in the CD in the shops.
Oh, so they processed it too much, basically.
They wanted to be louder. Once again, Death Magnetic is Metallica trying to survive Korn, Limp Bizkit, Static X, and Slipknot.
Yeah.
They weren't the toughest.
But look at AC/DC. They're and the Ramones. They're pretty much the same forever. They didn't have to change that much, and they had a huge fan base.
Yeah, but that's why they did change, because they didn't want to be the Ramones, AC/DC.
Well, I mean,
no, they wanted.
Then they didn't want consistency and regular success. Those guys are very successful.
No, they have consistency. I have to give them that. They have consistency, but as I said, the pivoting point in history is Hetfield, the singer, going into rehab. Not only that he got cleaned, but also one of the conditions to come back to Metallica and keep Metallica alive was to get everybody into therapy. Everybody else to stop all the toxic behavior that every member of the band had.
So is that when Lars got worse at drums, or was that before that?
Lars got worse at drums because he stopped practicing.
Because there was all these concert clips going way back of them looking at him like, fuck. Like in the middle of the performance, he's just sloppy, right? And you could just see the band members looking at him like, what the fuck is going on here?
I mean, the thing with Lars Ulrich as a drummer is that the fame got to him where they were on drugs, basically. One of the things that put Metallica on the map is like the Who, is that they were playing on amphetamines.
Yeah.
So they were the fastest in the Bay Area.
Well, yeah, there's no way Keith Moon could have played that fast without amphetamines. So, that guy was so fast.
Many on. Yeah, but Keith Moon is another miracle of modern medicine, because he was taking uppers, downers, mooders, everything.
No, the miracle
was a roller coaster.
The miracle is the Rolling Stones that are still out playing, and they all should be dead. You know,
not dead, but definitely not in shape to withstand a 2-hour-long gig every week.
Especially
they should not be able to take that.
The guitar player looks like he's been dead for like 20 years. So
Keith Richards, oh fuck me.
Yeah.
Once again, guess why they hired him for Pirates of the Caribbean?
Yeah.
Because nobody else looked like an actual pirate more than he does.
Yeah.
And he definitely played the role. He owned it, basically.
Sure. Yeah. No, I mean.
And with Metallica, the thing is, because all the way up almost to Reload, which is basically Metallica trying to be grunge, trying to be Nirvana.
Oh, really? I haven't heard that one.
Yeah. The one that everyone knows is Black Album.
Yeah.
Okay. Because they copied somebody else, including Spinal Tap.
Enter Sandman? Is that Enter Sandman, the Black Album?
Enter Sandman, yeah. Those were the mega hits in MTV, right? The next one is
I like when they worked with Michael Kamen to do the orchestral stuff, just like Pink Floyd did and stuff. That was cool.
Yeah. That was before, I think, Saint Anger, the cleanup, before the cleanup. So after Black, or Metallica, which is the actual name of the album, it's called Metallica, they do Load and Reload on the fashion of Use Your Illusion 1 and 2 from Guns N' Roses.
Oh, really? That's funny.
They released one album, and I don't know if they already had the plan, as in they delayed it not to suffocate the first album sales. They delayed the release of the second one, but they were kind of meant to be released at the same time. As in a double album, full 30 songs or 20-something songs, right? So that was Load and Reload. And that was Metallica basically trying to compete with Soundgarden, Alice in Chains, all the new wave of hard bands. Very dark, very grunge type of lyrics. And after that, they start recording Saint Anger, what would become Saint Anger, the album after Reload.
Yeah.
And it's in the process of having that album halfway is when he goes into rehab. Hetfield goes into rehab, comes back and says, "Okay, if I have to be back, if I get to be back on Metallica, if you want me to be back on Metallica, everything we've recorded so far, burn it. I'm not gonna sing that. I'm not gonna release that. I'm not gonna put my name onto those songs. Wow. I have this new bunch of lyrics, and if you listen to the lyrics and you understand a little of rehab, how it works, and the counseling process and the 12-step process, is basically therapy put on paper."
Yeah. Well, I mean,
that's Saint Anger.
A lot of songwriting is, right? You're burying your soul, you're exercising your demons, you're
you can
through all
follow.
this shit.
And in my understanding, at least 2, possibly 3 songs in that 12 or 13 track album are basically Hetfield draining his hate for Lars Ulrich.
Yeah.
As in telling him off in the song. So they had, on top of that, they had the issue with Jason Newsted, the bass player. They kicked him out. They pushed him to leave the band. It's twisted. Basically, they never. There was too much baggage with Jason Newsted because he came to substitute Cliff Burton, the signed original bass player, which was almost like brothers with Hetfield, and he died. So Hetfield, on top that he was already on the way up on his addiction, he always resented Jason Newsted for coming to replace and trying to replace and playing the way that Barton used to play.
Yeah.
So there was always a very bad blood there from the beginning. But as the band became more and more successful, more and more money, more and more touring, more and more booze, more and more drugs, more and more downhill spiral, they started basically making his life impossible. To the point that even when he went into rehab, Jason wanted to make some money, or at least blow out some creative steam by having a side project.
Yeah.
Flotsam and Jetsam, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the point. They didn't allow him, and they gave him an ultimatum. If he wanted to start touring with his side project, even when Metallica was on the dry dock, as in no tours on site, no album finished, no recordings on site, nothing. They were basically having family issues and clean up.
I mean, this is...
Yeah, but once again, that's the reason why Hetfield had to come back from rehab and said, "Okay, enough is enough. We all need to grow up. We need to handle the band as what it is."
Look at Maynard. He does 3 fucking bands, and it's just fine. It doesn't interfere with anything.
Because he's doing all 3 at the same time.
Whatever, that he can still balance it, and it's fine. It works, right? If you do it right.
I'm with you. Yes, you're right. But the main I don't know his first name, the Tool singer, whatever, Maynard.
That's his first name.
But that's the surname.
No, that's Keenan is his last name. Maynard James Keenan is his name. Yeah, Maynard James Keenan is his name.
So Keenan, what is the way he's handling that is that he's touring all 3 bands in the same lineup. Every night he's singing 3 sets.
That I didn't know. I've seen him on tour, but I never saw the other bands around. So I've only seen him when Tool was just on tour by himself. So
if you see Tool, you see that is usually with Perfect Circle, and Pucifer, which is all 3 Mania projects.
Yeah,
the guy's a freaking trooper. really,
Yeah,
he's
plus he's
singing
got a
3 sets
winery
per
and
night.
he's got a farming thing, and he's all over the
Yep.
place. Yeah.
And
He's like a
all the
regular guy
creativity. I
too.
mean,
Yeah, he's not a
as
he's not a
regular guy, he's not a diva.
he's not a
At
jerk.
least
He's
not a
not
typical
a
diva. No.
yeah.
He's a jerk when he needs to be a jerk. Because
Well, I mean, so is everybody, right? So
no, I mean, at one point he was famous for jumping to the audience and beating the shit out of one guy in the audience.
oh, I didn't know about that.
Yeah, he would start fights with the audience. For
Well,
when you
angsty,
learn the whole when you learn the whole story and you learn all the sides, then you realize that he is the one in the right. What you don't expect is that the guy leading the show would be the one taking justice on his hands, but he also does a ton of martial arts.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Right?
Look at all the punk concerts where people are like, stirring up shit and jumping into the crowd, going nuts.
Something like that. I think one of the times was because a guy was beating up his girlfriend.
Oh,
so
shit.
He saw that, dropped the mic, jumped to the audience, and beat the shit out of that bastard.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I didn't know about that.
That was one of the times, but he was kind of famous for doing that kind of often. As in,
he's funny too because if you watch the progression as the band played later and later in their careers, he would more in the shadow. Like he didn't want to be out in the light singing. He'd be in the back. You see just his silhouette back there. So there's just you watch the band, right? You don't like to focus on him. And so it's kind of funny to see this little shadow back there moving around. But hey, I get it. I mean, at least it's not like Prince where he was kind of the only guy to look at, and he was also in the fucking shadow. I saw him when he played as the artist, formerly known as. A girlfriend at the time wanted to go, and I said, all right. I mean, I like his Prince stuff. I don't know if I like the artist stuff, but just to see him play live once would be kind of fun. And we went to see him, and sure enough, he's like hiding in the shadows or turning his back to the crowd and said, what the fuck? We paid to see this guy. You know, and he's like the only thing to really look at. It wasn't like the New Power Generation was all kinds of visual stuff. You know, and so at least the Tool concerts, you got a lot of stuff to look at. You don't need to look at the singer, and so he just kind of drops back into the shadows, and
all that is totally on purpose. Another thing that I found kind of funny out of the interview, I think the best ones is the ones he has done with Rick Beato, I think.
Oh yeah, I saw a couple of those.
And one of them, it made me chuckle that for him to recognize that when he's writing for Tool, as in 25 years later since the band got successful, as in 25 years in their successful career, he has basically gave up, and he tells, every time they start writing, tells the drummer, make me a sign when you want me to start singing. Because I have no fucking idea where the one is.
Oh, yeah.
The polyrhythms they use are so complex all the time.
Yeah. And it's not just a gimmick. It sounds good. Up. Right? It's
no.
Just some...
Totally justified.
Yeah.
Also music. I'm not putting that down. It's the fact that he went on microphone, go on record, recognizing that on Tool, he has given up.
I know, but like some people go, oh, they just did a thing on the Fibonacci sequence. Like they did it on one track, basically, the Fibonacci sequence, just for fun, you know. But they're not like mystical band in that way, doing some like numerology shit. I mean, it's kind of funny.
Let's start with the Schism. I think it's a 4 and a 6.
That one's crazy. Yeah.
You don't feel like it's forced. You don't feel like, oh, they're trying to be smart. No, you feel like the song is that way, and if you play it any other way, it's wrong.
Yeah,
that's when you use those resources properly, when it becomes so ingrained in the in the identity of the song that you could not imagine the song any other way.
Yeah,
that's how good they are.
Well, that one album they did, it's the last one or one of the last ones, with
I don't know. They do tons of them.
There's the one that they made a famous drum cam footage of Danny Carey playing in concert, and you can watch him do all these different time signatures of different limbs and stuff. It's fucking crazy, right? And it's really.
Do you know?
Cool.
I don't know 2025, but I believe in 2024, or on the jump from one to the other. Do you know who fetched him to tour with which legacy band?
I did know, but I forgot. I did hear some interesting stuff about him, but
Yes.
Oh wow, yeah.
He was the only guy they could find that could still play all the Yes catalog.
I forgot who was the original drummer from Yes. I forgot the.
I don't know, but the guy is legendary, basically.
Yeah, sure. Oh, they all are. I mean, every one of them. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of all the vocals from Yes,
sure,
but they do fit
because it's stuff. Who is
like John Evangelis. I can't listen to much of that. I liked someone did an instrumental version of John Evangelis with no singing. I prefer that to the John Evangelis.
Really?
Because his voice gets.
I know. I loved his voice.
Yeah, I like it in some of the Yes songs, but not all the time. It's very. Like he even did, he worked with Tangerine Dream on the Legend soundtrack, and that also got a little grating. His voice got a little grating. I'm like,
My understanding is Yes is one step up in the prog escalade after fucking
Emerson, Lake and Palmer?
No, the Genesis.
Oh, yeah. Genesis was only prog for a while. They weren't really prog. They were mostly pop later.
Then they went mainstream. I get it.
Like when Peter Gabriel left, they're pretty much pop.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's just because of him leaving, but it's just they changed direction.
Yeah. But to me, the escalate, possibly Yes was one step. No, I think Yes was right in the middle between Genesis and King Crimson. Right there. One step more prog than Genesis, but one step less complex than King Crimson.
Because even bands like Styx, which is kind of hard rock, kind of little poppy elements.
Depends on the album.
Had prog stuff in there too. There's some really talented guys in that band. Yeah.
You see, the few things I've heard from Styx, the only thing it puts me just a smidgen off is the fact that they sound too much like Broadway.
Well, that's Dennis DeYoung's fault. He's very theatrical and tries to be operatic and stuff, and like the Come Sail Away stuff. Nope. I'm like, dude, come on. I mean, I like the song, but he's so theatrical.
No, it's
and his enunciation.
That's one.
Like,
That's one, but it's that Broadway has a quality with the music, and one of them, you're not gonna like what I'm gonna say next, but one of the qualities of Broadway is that to help the audience singing or humming or learning the songs to make them even more catchy, they duplicate the singer's melodies with one of the instruments in the orchestra. So you're hearing the melody twice, one on the vocals and one on the music. Yeah. And what you're not gonna like is the other person that does that and abuses it is Gary Newman.
Yeah, I've never been the most huge Gary Newman fan, but he has a sound and the synthy bits are cool.
And part of his sound is 90%. I mean, every single hit single, but 90% of his output, of his songs, all of them, the melody he's singing, you've been hearing at the same time, either by a guitar or by a synth.
Sure.
All the freaking time through the whole freaking song. Like he needs that in order to sing in pitch.
I get that. I mean, I've never seen him in concert. I probably wouldn't go see him in concert, but I do like a couple of his tracks.
Oh, definitely not lately. Definitely
not
lately.
No, just in general, though. I just, even when he was hot, I was like, he's okay.
Well, in a way, he's hotter now. Remember that only this year he managed to get hired for Glastonbury.
Wow.
Never.
Well, the story I heard is the whole synth thing was like an accident. I mean, he was like a guitar guy or something like that, and then there was a synthesizer in the corner of the studio. He was like, "Oh, what's that thing? What's a fiddle with that a little bit?" And then he just suddenly went nuts for it.
Yeah.
But he wasn't really a synth guy. He just happened to be there and wasn't being used or something, and he just suddenly, and the sound was now, right? It was new wave, synth pop, all that shit was hot.
Exactly.
So I'm like, hey, why not do that?
You can almost blame him exclusively for new wave.
Well, look at even like Lena Lovett. She's in the late 70s, but it sounds like new wave.
Who?
Lena Lovett, New Toy and Lucky Number and all that stuff. That's like late 70s, like 78, 79, something like that. And she's pretty famous, but and she's not from here. I'm pretty sure she's British or something, but I don't know. I'm not positive. But anyway, she
everything.
But this is one of these people that were kind of doing this sound before it became a thing, right?
Then you have to explain me, because the way I understand new wave is basically punk rock.
Like Devo is kind of doing new wave. It's like punk mixed with rock,
punk rock
mixed with synths and other new wave elements. And Devo's doing new wave pre-80s as well. So.
With synthesizers and more than 4 chords. That to me is what new wave is. Yeah.
And it's not. It doesn't even have to have synths. There are plenty of new wave bands that don't use synths, but it's usually a component.
At all, you can name
sometimes,
one new wave band that
I have to think about it, but I know of a few. Yeah, I've been a while since I thought about it, but because I was thinking about that a long time ago.
Sometimes I can give you that they're not synth centric like some of the new wave bands were. Yeah. But
like XTC. XTC doesn't use any synths. I don't think they're new wave.
Okay. I don't know that band.
The Stranglers until later. The Stranglers mostly did guitar, bass, and stuff.
But the thing is, the Stranglers had a keyboard player.
They did, but it wasn't like synths.
The fact that he chose to he delayed start playing synths as much as he could,
because the Doors had a keyboard player. That's not synths. He played like organ and some
organ and clavinet.
Yeah, clavinet. Yeah, it's not synth. I mean, it sounds cool, but it's not. It's not the same mechanical at all. Yeah, like they could have been using a Hammond Nova chord, which is a proper synth, organy synth thing. But
too expensive. I don't think he could.
Most people weren't using.
And once again,
that,
he was using a Hammond B3, and I think those were already using.
Well, Farfisa. I think they had Farfisa, right?
No, I think he had a Hammond.
Hammond, yeah.
He had a Hammond and a clavinet.
Okay.
Most of the beginning, all the way up to Golden Brown.
Yeah,
I think
but there's several
in the Golden.
But there's several bands who don't necessarily have synths, or they're barely there, and they're still.
That's what I mean, really barely cool. There.
Like
most of the new waves use them.
Plimsolls, the Polecats. There are a bunch of '80s bands that are basically new wave that don't use synths.
No, as I said, many bands in the '80s didn't want to be identified with synths.
Well, Van Halen wanted to use them, and David Lee Roth supposedly hated synths. So, meanwhile, he had them on his fucking solo albums. He had synths on his solo albums. What the hell?
He got fed up of so much synthesizers in Van Halen.
That "Living in Paradise" song, it's got all kinds of synths in it.
We're talking Van Halen. You need to talk about Jump.
Well, no, but I'm talking about David Lee Roth, who says he didn't like synths, and now he's doing it in his solo work.
Oh, yeah, but once again, everybody grows up sooner or later.
It's just funny. He thinks he doth protest too much. So,
It was the 80s. Too many things were happening.
Yeah.
And not all of them good. But yeah.
So back to your module. Did you finally figure it out, you think? Or are you not happy with it? Or what's going on?
Now I need to... First, I need to learn why in one VCO works fine, but not in the other, which is that for example, that would explain why Undertones could not fix the first unit I bought, because probably they could not find the mistake. What was making the flaw, or if it was making the flaw. Is what making the same thing I showed tonight on the show to them. They could not understand why, because there was nothing electronically wrong in the PCB.
Yeah.
So
because I tell you, that pitch to MIDI feature on the JDXI is phenomenal.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. There's tons of tech out there that can do it. Even this thing can do it. Once again, you never gave me a chance to show you. So I think this is.
You did it in one of the other videos. You did the MIDI part, right?
No, not the MIDI. This is CV, okay?
Oh, so you got.
I'm just controlling. So this is the same thing, CV, but instead of using the VCO in the Behringer, I'm using the VCO in the Create. Okay, and I'm getting this.
The duck synth.
Yeah, but that's.
I know it's funny.
That's the filter setting. If I change the wave,
there's a few tracking errors, but it's not even. Yeah,
but it's not even range. Because look, once again, this is bass guitar. Right? Extended bass guitar. Ultra extended bass guitar. He's having an issue with that one.
A little bit, yeah.
But once again, this is 23 hertz.
Run that through a ring modulator. It sounds pretty cool, actually. So
it's already modulating the ring. But look, okay, so F sharp, G, A, B. So this is the B of this string, right? So you got B0, A0, F sharp, G0, F sharp 0 is the one that goes mental.
Oh yeah, well that's fucking crazy low, right? What's the normal bass low? The 4-string bass?
This is.
Yeah, this is way fucking.
Well, and I'm feeding it this.
Yeah.
Right. And this is the note he's getting crazy, but this one he can do.
I mean, even our ears, you hear that note kind of breaking up a little bit. It's funky.
Because the speakers cannot play it.
Yeah.
Once again, this is 22 hertz.
Yeah.
Speakers, the best speakers in the market, loudspeakers, they only go down to 30.
Yeah.
So what you're hearing is not the fundamental. You're hearing the harmonics.
You could drop it down to 15 and do a concert for elephants. They have infrasound capability. So they actually communicate with infrasound. They produce with their sinuses to actually communicate over long distances.
15. Do you want to know what I need to do to go there? I just need to take this tuning peg and drop it one step.
Yeah.
And I'm there.
Wow.
I'm one step away. Basically, I'm half step away from the... No, wait. Because the Bosendorfer goes all the way to C0.
Really?
But once again, if you hear a Bosendorfer playing, that C0, it doesn't sound rumbly and bassy and dark. Sounds metallic and like this. Sorry. because you can't hear.
Well, it's so low you almost hear the beating. It's just crazy.
Because you're hearing the harmonics, the upper harmonics, not the fundamental. That one doesn't go through the speakers. But even in the case of the Bosendorfer, it's a acoustic that you hear in the room, okay, not recorded, in the room. Your hearing only goes down to 20. C0 is
and maybe
around
not
17.
Everybody too. Some people may not even have that. So
exactly, C0. I think it goes all the way down to.
You can probably feel it. You feel it in your tissues, but
hell, fuck yeah.
Yeah, you won't hear it.
Yeah, way more than you can. Where did I have that? Where did I put it? Because I've been researching all this stuff because I was wondering, because all these ultra low tunings is because metal bands want to be heavier and heavier and heavier, and the other way they can find is to tune lower and lower and lower.
But where are they getting these cabinets and actually reproduce those sounds though?
They don't, and they don't care. Okay. They don't need to.
Oh, okay.
Because
but are there some that
the
do?
sound they're looking for. No. Once again, there's okay.
No, I know what you're saying, but I mean, can you get a cabinet that goes?
First, you need to understand what a speaker frequency range actually means. Okay?
Because some headphones, the big heavy, they claim 20 to 20, but are they really doing 20?
No. The most anything above 200, everything above 100 pounds, $150. And some of a big bunch of cheaper even, they claim they're 5 to 30K.
What?
5 hertz to 30K. That's what they claim.
Wow.
And that's what I'm trying to explain to you. Why? It's because when you measure the frequency response of a speaker, what the range they give you is not the actual range of the speaker. As in, a speaker works by you feed an AC voltage, a voltage that is going positive and negative, to the coil, will move the magnet that moves the cone, whatever type of membrane or system that would compress the air, at the same speed and volume proportionally to the voltage that comes in, right?
Yeah.
What they give you as the range of a speaker, I believe, is the range of frequencies where that correlation of voltage to decibels is 1-to-1. Okay?
Yeah.
So, if a speaker claims, full range speaker claims, is 50 to 17K, means that from 50 hertz to 17 hertz, 1 volt you put gives you 1 dB back. But that doesn't mean that if you go 45 hertz, it's gonna go quiet.
Yeah.
Means that
what's humming?
Below 50 hertz.
What are you touching that's humming?
Oh. No, it's the bass. It's the note of the bass.
Oh, okay.
I can shut
Just
it.
Checking.
So basically, what is happening is below 50 hertz, the relationship is not 1-to-1 anymore. It's probably 2-to-1, 3-to-1, and it goes decreasing. I don't know if the right word is exponentially or logarithmically.
Yeah.
It has a curve, what they call the roll-off curve.
Yeah, I think it's logarithmic, but
possibly. And that curve applies for both ends, the treble end and the low end.
Yeah.
Speakers don't go quiet from one frequency to the next. They start fading off beyond that frequency.
Yeah.
So the lowest subwoofer I could find to buy in Thomann is rated 30 hertz.
Okay.
and it was $7,000, one single speaker.
Wow.
Right? So it could, but it's 30 hertz. I think it's 130 dBs. Is handling 4,000 watts.
Yeah.
Basically, it can project 30 hertz almost half a mile away.
Yeah.
All right? But it doesn't mean that at 29 hertz it goes silent.
Yeah.
No. It means that it doesn't reach half a mile at 29, even less at 27, 6, 5, all the way down to probably 10 hertz.
You're supposedly
or 15 hertz.
When a male lion on the savannah is bellowing to call mates and stuff like that. There's a lot of low frequency in there. And that's supposedly on the right wind and the right flat conditions and stuff like that. That carry for like 4 miles, supposedly. People have said. So it's pretty crazy.
Fucking hell. See what I mean?
You barely hear it, but you go, that little thing.
And the same thing with the speakers. The frequencies beyond the commercial range, you can hear them, but you might need to put your ear to the close. That's why headphones and even more plug-in pods, AirPods and the like, the ones that you plug in your ear canal, have this crazy 10 or 5 hertz to 35 kilohertz range of frequency measurable, because the volume they project is so minuscule.
Yeah, it doesn't need much. Yeah.
That when you apply the machine,
when you insert them, you have that isolation, which helps too. So
everything helps. So, and also they claim those ranges, or they try to build those ranges, so you get a perfect 1-to-1, no distortion, no deviation from 20 to 22K, which is what you can actually hear. So the roll-off doesn't start in the hearable human range, but beyond the range. That's where the roll-off starts caving down.
But those damn Beats headphones still have too much bass response. It's just too much.
You know IK Multimedia?
Yeah.
They have this technology called ARC, A-R-C, which is digital frequency correction of speaker behavior through impulse response testing.
Yeah.
Right? So one of the things that technology allows you to do is to impose fake frequency responses. Amazing. Fake frequency responses to your speakers. You can make your speaker sound like something else.
Yeah, right? I heard something about that, yeah.
One of the ones that the IK Multimedia system gives you is smartphone. So you get your 300, 700, one grand and a half pair of monitor speakers.
Although I gotta tell you, the bass response on these later iPhone, the Maxes, is very good.
Sure.
It's shocking.
Wait.
It's better on my iPad Pro, but it's shocking on this thing.
Yeah, it's shocking for the type of drivers they use, yes.
Yeah.
Because what they use in those phones is not speaker technology anymore. It's in-ear monitor technology. But that's a second conversation. I clicked to see the profile because they show you the graph of the frequency response of a typical average smartphone, right? Samsung's, Huawei's, you name it. And technically also Apple's average. Basically take every frequency lower than 150 hertz and chop it up 24 dB per octave. Nothing under 150 can be played by a smartphone. And some smartphones go all the way to 200. So,
I mean, if it can't reproduce it, then why waste the,
They don't waste it. And that bass improvement range, it's not because the speaker can play it. is because the resonance of the case through harmonic resonance.
Well, yeah, it's like those old.
Can't put it through.
I remember seeing high-end speakers in the '80s as wooden cabinets with all these weird like chases inside and pathways and stuff, and complex resonant chambers to enhance the speaker. It's pretty amazing shit, even back in the '80s. You know.
Yeah.
Everything was like made by hand. It wasn't all machined, and it was still like amazingly good. Yeah.
Yeah, but the problem with high end is that it's like haute couture. It's like fashion.
Oh, of course,
Paris fashion.
It's audio masturbation in a lot of ways, but it does.
Yes.
I wasn't screwing them up yet with age, and I wore earplugs, but not all that shit. Now I probably couldn't appreciate it all because, we're all getting old and we're all losing our frequency response. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not only. Oh, you can suddenly be to a drummer, a bass player. The problem is piece of music, except for that one. Even the performance of an orchestra is designed to sound like a one single item.
Well, true, and also the concert hall is tuned for the special reverb and all that shit.
A blob of sound out of the orchestra, not a violins, violas, cellos, brass. No, the orchestra don't want you to be able to.
Which is why people thought orchestra hits would be very realistic when you had them on the keyboard.
That's one. But as I said, the target of an orchestra is the ensemble, not the instrumentalist. Except
until it's time for a solo.
Lead one.
Yeah.
Except for the lead one. But you still hear one lead player and a blob of music holding it.
Yeah.
Is when you go to electric produced music, when you go to jazz. If you go to jazz, then you want to hear one piano player, one bass player, one drummer, one guitar, and possibly a singer. And you want separation, as in you want them to sound like they are in separate rooms.
Yeah.
As that defined, you want it to be totally separated, frequency.
In fact, some of the singers you want in a separate building, like the scat. Put them in the other building.
Or just tape on the mouth.
Yeah.
Exactly. But that type of music, then electronic, then cinematic orchestras, which are designed to split that apart because they want to emphasize specific instruments for specific moods. Those more modern styles are the ones where you can actually appreciate the higher quality of a higher hi-fi system.
And the cinematic, they're also putting an instrument over here, and they're doing all that shit. So
exactly. That's when you need that quality. But the problem is, in my point of view, and I'm sure I'm wrong about the actual price, the minute you go beyond $1,500 on a hi-fi system, no money you put on that system is going to improve it shit.
Well, they're also art pieces. Because people pay for the nice looking speakers, good construction, certain woods,
Yes, but
and the woods can make a difference too. Have you seen that? That wood resonant thing they make for the Hawken Continuum?
No, but I'm familiar with principles.
Voix d'Esprit or whatever the fucking thing's called. It's this metal. It's a wooden cabinet speaker, like resonator chamber, and you play anything through it. But it's designed for the Hawken Continuum with the physical modeling voices and stuff like that. And man, did that fucker sound good. It's very unique compared to.
Yeah, but once again, my point is, the minute you go beyond $1,500, and I'm talking the whole system, speakers, amps, sources, as in vinyl player, every penny you put on top gets shrink to a tenth, because you're not fighting the tech anymore. You're fighting the acoustics in your room.
Yeah.
And many of those people is spending 20 grand, 50
Yeah,
grand,
you have to have someone come out and
$500,000
measure stuff. Yeah.
They don't even do sound conditioning for the listening room. So they're
some people go as
wasting
far as
at
having
least,
an anechoic chamber so they can have this perfect listening experience. So,
but that's wrong. Listening music on an anechoic chamber is not the perfect experience.
no,
It's
but
a bad experience.
But you can concentrate all the sound on you and center it. And
No, that's the problem.
I know, but some people like that. You know, some people like that. So, I wouldn't do it.
Anechoic, no. Okay. For what I've learned and what I've heard, I haven't had the experience myself, obviously, because I think there are like 10 or possibly 20 rooms like that in the whole world.
Sure.
An anechoic chamber is the acoustic equivalent of a black hole.
Yeah.
Anything you produce disappears. Any sound you make disappears
outside of your general
enough to the source
sphere. Yeah, right.
And
I've been in some parking garages in San Francisco where there's so much acoustic padding, like this stuff they blow on all the concrete, where the room is eerie. The room is literally dead. Yeah. Like you slam the car door and it goes, boom.
Cool.
You know.
Yeah, but did you lose your balance?
No, but it was a little weird at first, though. It does feel odd.
Yeah, but did you lose your balance?
No.
Then that's not anechoic.
No, I didn't say it was. I'm just saying it's the closest thing I've been to.
It's the closest thing
where it was a really dead fucking room.
We understand balance through the hearing mechanism of listening to the rebound of sound around us.
Deaf people walk around just fine.
Yes, but technically
remember, it's the semicircular canals that are the real deal. If that's fucked up, then you're really screwed.
Also the sound is, it's both. Yeah.
I mean, you get vertigo, it also messes shit up, and you get all this other kind of stuff. It's a visual component as well as the semicircular canals.
The minute you feel weird because you lose all your perceptions. On a live sounding room, you can just breathe and you get a non-sensory perception.
I know what you mean. It's an unnatural experience. And that's why I'm bringing it up. I really did feel like, wow, it feels weird in here because I'm not hearing all the normal
you don't hear the dimensions of your environment anymore.
And when I shut the car door, it had this foof noise. When it should have been a
bang.
Because it was a big parking garage. And it just was, it was very odd. It almost reminded me of that, they always have in movies where like all of a sudden the sound gets all weird and quiet when aliens land or something like that. It made it feel like there's like something's wrong in this room, right? Because it's like they unnatural.
Try to give you the same, but as I said, it's meant to be a black hole for sound.
Yeah.
So it's
some people love it.
Best environment.
I don't know.
Anechoic chambers. Once again, there are many. What you need to do. So what you want to fetch after in sound conditioning. I'm not talking about soundproofing. That's a completely different concept.
Well, they do dead rooms for recording too. Like when I was at Apple and the guy gave me a tour of the little hidden music studio on campus that you'd never know is there. This is a beautiful music studio right there. And we went to this giant mixing console. And then all the walls were treated with all this, like the wood slats, the stone, all the different weird acoustic property panels that you would have in any fancy studio. And then they had several vocal rooms and one or two dead rooms for just clean sounds from a guitar or a drum for all their sound libraries, because they make a lot of sound libraries for not just for the music software, but for their sounds for the environment, for the OS.
I get it.
It's all in-house. It's crazy stuff.
Vocal rooms are usually dead to a point.
Yeah.
Basically, what you want on condition in a room, even for a hi-fi system, is you want to try to remove the room from the sound equation, from your sound experience. As in, if you don't treat the room, some frequencies will grow and some frequencies will disappear.
Well, you also get reverb that you don't want. This is why they have the de-reverb algorithms now, where you can just take the shit right out.
Yeah, but those are frequencies that grow. Yeah. They shouldn't be there, and suddenly they pop up, right? But as I said, you can reduce it to frequencies that disappear, which are the canceling nodes, and frequencies that grow, which are the reverberation nodes. So you're hearing a sound that is, let's say, 100 hertz, and because of the room, what you're getting is 50, 70, 100, 150, and 200. And the 150, which is 50 hertz above what you want to hear, is 5 times louder. That is a poorly treated room. A treated room will make that if you generate 100 hertz only, you will hear 100 hertz only. That is what those people buying the hi-fi systems should do to their own listening rooms, but they don't. So they're wasting at least half of the price of the system. That's why I said
so. No, I read about that years ago. I actually worked with a guy when I was in high school, worked at a video store. And this guy was an audiophile. He had all the fucking magazines, like the Absolute Sound magazine. And he had like, really fancy, what was the brand of that amp? Like some guys get Nakamichi and some of the kind of fancy high-end audio stuff. He had one that was like that. I forgot the name of it, but he was into all this shit, right? One time he invited us to his
They go in trends.
And he had the fancy vacuum for the records to make them pristine so they don't click and pop. And he had the fancy record player that was really, really expensive. He had speakers that were each like $1,500. These giant wooden sculpture monstrosities. He had NAD. That was the high-end audio stuff. NAD, preamp, amp, tuner, blah blah blah. Beautiful black, metal chassis and stuff. And he goes, "Oh, you guys want to hear some stuff? You know what he put on? Just take a guess, Mr. Audiophile, Mr. I'm into quality. What the fuck do you think he put on?"
I don't know.
You'll never guess.
Kung Fu sound.
No, but just like something that just doesn't, like popular music from a time that's not that old, but it's old maybe. But it's never known for quality or fidelity.
It never had a proper recording.
Or just it's not good sounding music from a fidelity point of view. It's cool music. Sure. But it's not what you would use to, listen to this.
It's
system,
groovy,
right?
but it's not high quality. So I get it. Yeah. I don't know.
Two different eras.
He played you Kiss.
No, 2 different eras. The Doors and the Cramps. Why would you spend all that money on audiophile shit to play those 2 bands? They're great. They're fine, right? But they're not any kind of test of a system. Not even the Doors.
Obviously, that's never going to... Even the Doors, because the Doors
recorded that well.
Never had a high quality recording.
Yeah. So it's just
they never had a high quality recording.
But this is the guy who gave me shit about Peter Gabriel.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, he has a raspy voice, but he's fucking amazing musician and super talented, and you should play his shit on your system, not that other crap.
Right.
At
least the modern one, everything he did after Genesis, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Synthetic. We're gonna stop the
it's been going
broadcast.
For a while, so. Yeah, I gotta go out and do some shit.
Just to allow people to go to sleep, but don't go.
Well, we only have 6 people watching anyway, so.
Wow.
They probably already fell asleep.
Considering that I am 3 of them.
Well, it's funny when I was tuning in obviously earlier when you started, and I was on mobile.
Yeah.
And I was keeping an eye on the watching now thing. And it went from 3 or 4, and at one point it bumped up to like 10. And then I said, I'll just in case people didn't know, because not everyone subscribed or whatever. I said, well, I have a lot of subscribers. I'll put a note, hey, I'm going to go over and jump in the 6 oscillators. I'm late, but check it out if you can. And not long after I did that, it bumped up to like 12 or 13. And then it quickly went down to like 6. I brought them, and then they're like,
That's
we
like
don't want to see this stuff, whatever it is. And then now it's 6, but it was back up to about 9 or 10 for a while. We were talking about some weird shit. So it's just one of those days.
Yeah. Aren't you glad that I don't really give a shit? I did this
I
for
don't
the
either.
community, not for the audience.
I mean, I love it when people jump in my lives and have fun in the comments and talk shit and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm not.
The problem
too
is
bothered.
when you do them, I'm mostly at work. As I said, wait there, don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Let me just say
goodbye.
Thank you so much.
You have that video I played you last time?
Sorry, no. Want me to bring it?
No, that's okay. No, you don't have to play it. Another time. There's that one I did. It was a guitar-related track that we had trouble with the audio last time. Remember you couldn't play it?
The last time you came, yes.
Yeah.
A lot has happened since.
That's okay.
Thank you very much for coming. Yeah. I'm talking to the rest, not to you. Thank you very much for coming. We'll be back. Let me triple check that we'll be back on September 5th.
I might not be around for that, but I'll try.
Friday.
So, yeah, we'll see.
Whatever, if you can. I mean, it's all good. I appreciate.
I might be in some
anything
exotic place.
You
do. You never know. So.
Ooh, count me in.
No spoilers. That. No spoilers, but I might be going somewhere for a little bit. So.
I'm gonna be researching and hopefully have some answers of why my PP-1 works fine with the Create Audio.
Well, if you had an audio glitch right there,
not with
that
would
have been funny. Because you're like, why my PP, and then it cuts out. You know?
Why my PP?
Well, my PP has problems.
Sorry. Talking about being irreverent, and just to close up, did you find out that they're bringing back Beavis and Butthead?
I'm not surprised. He did have a resurgence for like one season several years ago, and I can't remember if I watched all of it or not. But it's evergreen, right? You could do it forever. Just look at the South Park. South Park is season 27 right now.
Exactly.
Did you see the Trump one?
Wow.
Holy shit.
No,
you should watch that one.
I've never found South Park funny.
Yeah, but watch the last episode.
That's so funny.
Season 27, episode 1, where they're talking about Trump, and Trump is a whole. I don't want to spoil it, but you won't believe it. I can't believe it got on TV. Put it this way: he got really, really mad about it. He's always mad about certain things, but this hit him where it hurts in many ways, because he's always trying to sue people. They're always joking about his little dick. They're always joking about his big fat body and a bunch of stuff like that. And he just can't take it. And it's very funny. So it's juvenile as hell, but the fact that it got out on the air and it's stirring everybody up is hilarious. They're great trolling guys,
Yeah. No, that's the only thing I appreciate. The rest of the show, I've never really got jammed with it.
It's funny. I tune in once in a while, but whatever. But speaking of live stuff, whatever. I missed it today. We had too much stuff going on, but tomorrow I'm doing live streams from the Vintage Computer Fair at the Computer History Museum in Mountain View. So you're a computer nerd. A lot of people on here are computer nerds. Check it out. So with Ramsey and sleeping and stuff like that, I probably won't get there till 11 or 12 my time. And it's only until about 5.
In between Ramsey and Henrik.
Well, Henrik isn't doing anything tomorrow, as far as I know. But I'll definitely be streaming during the time Henrik would normally have a show. Okay. So 11:30 or 12 on to whatever. And I'll do it live as much as I can. Last time the signal was pretty decent. But if I notice it's getting all choppy and shitty, I'll have to drop it and just do a local video and upload later. But anyway, get ready to nerd out because they always have lots of cool shit there. Everything from ZX Spectrum to Commodore 64 to Apple. And
better, but because, and I don't understand why you have so much problems with coverage in LA, but everything should be
it's the Bay Area. I'm not in LA, I'm in the Bay Area. But it's because we have many providers, and providers fight for towers and coverage. So like Verizon is pretty shitty out here at most places. AT&T is hit or miss. I'm on T-Mobile, which was Sprint, and it's generally pretty good.
Mm.
So, but it's just buildings.
Yeah, I mean,
if you look at the infrastructure of the buildings, the Faraday cage effect. A lot of these buildings are giant metal cages.
I get you.
And
that's
concrete walls and stuff, and that's the problem. So.
And that's why I would say my point of view would be don't bother with the live at all. Get a
I love the
video
live.
recorded.
It's fun for me.
Oh yeah.
Well, if you watch my footage, the video turned out fine. I can tell when it's bad.
Okay. Cool.
And also people on there chatting like, "Hey, what happened? Looks like shit," or whatever. But generally, I can tell from the performance of the video, and also if it literally gets bad, where the signal gets cut, I get the little spinning circle, so I know it's bad. And the live thing is just more fun for me. You know why? Because I don't want to edit it. And if I shoot locally, the tendency is to want to edit it, and I don't have time to edit.
I'm with you.
So live is great. It might get a little bit kludgy here and there, but I stop enough at places that even if it's a little bit laggy, there'll be some clean frames.
Very fine.
And then you'll get it.
It's usually very fine, but sometimes not.
No, it was pretty good last time, so just keep an eye out for it. That's tomorrow. And
good. So what's the name of that thing again?
Vintage Computer Fair West. There's an East, there's a South. They had the East one about 3 months ago, East Coast.
Mm-hmm.
So it's this big vintage computer organization. I forgot the actual name of it. But if you just search online, Vintage Computer Fair West or East or whatever, you'll get to their main page. It will show you not only all the other shows they have, but lots of cool nerdy stuff about computer history, education, schedules of the talks. There's a bunch of talks tomorrow and today. I didn't see who's talking today, but I did briefly look at the talks, and there's some pretty heavy hitters in the talks. They're just not always everyone's cup of tea. Like, you have to really be into this industry to know who the fuck half these people are, which is fine. It's an industry, right? Howard Scott Warshaw was the guy last year, and if you know him, he's a famous guy from Apple, who also did stuff. At Atari. He's worked at Atari. He worked on the infamous E.T. video game that ended up in landfills, right?
I saw the documentary.
And so I bought his documentary and I got him to sign it. He was selling the DVDs there.
Cool.
And he's even on my video. I talked to him for a few seconds on the live chat thing. But
nice.
But yeah, so he's really cool. He did a lecture as well in the hall about some stuff. And a couple other kind of famous guys in the industry were there talking about all kinds of nerdy stuff. So they get guys from Atari, they get guys from Apple, they get guys from Commodore, and other stuff like Sun Microsystems, and
all the OGs.
They get in the weeds for a lot of the stuff, so it's pretty fun. And then one guy one year went into all his architecture stuff, and it was like, whoa,
that's amazing.
Like I like computers, and I'm into some of the stuff nerdy, but some of the stuff is like, whoa, it's just way over,
Yeah, it's applied physics basically.
It's
cool.
It's a huge field, so yeah, it's something for everybody.
Guys, go and check Synthetic tomorrow. All his live streams are worth watching. A, for the fun, B, for the information, and C, because he has a proper video camera and quality, and he does his best effort. Tomorrow, Saturday, probably synchrotron in the morning, runs in the afternoon. What is it, 2-ish? Yeah, UK time?
He is, so he's 6 my time. He's 6 a.m. my time, so he is 2 p.m. your time, yes.
2 p.m. And Henrik is not doing, but then you have Synthetic and all the things happening on Sunday. Until next time on September, you all take care and do a lot of beeps and bloops with your gear. See you later.